Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing the issue of gender and socialization. Have you ever been told to act like a woman or to man up when issues occur? And that is basically how the society has treated us over time. This has happened times and times again. And when things like this happen, we as humans tend to take up makeup from such situation, and then we form our person based on the things that are happening around us and things that we are experiencing as humans. Now let's take a look at the word gender. Gender and sex. Let me do the distinction between gender and sex. Sex is biologically defined. When you have a baby in the hospital, you just have a newborn baby, then you want to check, is this baby a male or a female? Is this baby a boy or a girl? What will you check? You will check their genitals, because that's the only thing that differentiates a boy child from a girl child. Their genitals. Aside that, everything tends to look the same. It is until when they grow, you begin to pierce their ears if they are girls, or then they begin to act in certain ways. But gender is socially constructed, unlike sex that is biologically constructed. So gender is socially constructed. That is that you are told how to behave, you are told how to talk, you are taught how to act in certain situations, what to do and what not to do based on your gender. It is expected that girls are supposed to walk with certain poise and talk in certain mannerism. They are supposed to be submissive. They are supposed to be more of a listener than a talker. A female is expected to be the one who keeps the home together, who assumes kitchen duties and what's not. The female gender is expected to be beautiful. She's supposed to be kept, supposed to act in certain ways. Why the male gender is supposed to take up the role of leadership. They are supposed to be at the forefront of things. They are supposed to make basic and important decisions, not just for them alone, but for their family also. That's how they are raised. And when we are raising our children, we begin to tell them, girls are supposed to go to the kitchen, while the males are supposed to garden, they're supposed to stay with daddy, they're supposed to not be, they ought not to be seen in kitchen doing feminine stuff and all that. But then, is that the way you ought to be in the society? What does socialization really mean? Socialization basically means that it's a process of teaching, teaching individuals how to become a part of that society, teaching the norms, the values, the culture of certain society. Now, what is the role of gender in socialization? How does gender role affect the socialization process? We know that we have various agents of socialization, and the family is the basic unit of socialization. When a child is born, he or she is born into a family. Now, this family will be the first place of contact and the first place where they are socialized into the mainstream society. So from the family, you learn how to greet. As a baby is growing up, the parents begin to do certain things and to teach them certain things. They wake up in the morning, say, hi, good morning, greet. You tell them to intentionally greet. You tell them, go wash your face, go brush your teeth. All those things, they are process of socialization. You teach them how to greet. If they are born into a Nigeria family, you teach them how to greet based on your own culture, what to say and how to say it. In certain culture, there are certain things you say and there's a tone to which you say it, right? You want to tell an elderly person, I'm sorry. There's a way you have to say the word I'm sorry. You cannot just say sorry. it's seen as an insult. So you are taught certain patterns of how to do it. Another agent of socialization is education. As a child grows up, you send them to school, whether it is formal education you're trying to garner or it's an informal education you're trying to acquire. You have to go to an organization to learn them. Maybe you're learning vocation, a skill, or maybe formal education. Children go to such places and they begin to learn now, not just their family alone. They begin to learn from their teachers. They will learn from the environment where that school or where that institution is located. They also learn from other students like themselves, other learners like themselves. So you begin to, sometimes you wonder, why is my child acting the way he or she is acting? I've never used such word in my house. Why is my child saying this? It is a function of the fact that they are learning new things from wherever they go to, from their environment, from their teachers, from classmates. And another agent of socialization is our religion. The church, the mosques, maybe it is African traditional religion. The religion you practice also influences the way the child is socialized. They are taught. The things that they say in such places, in religious places, goes a long way to define how they are modeled, how the kind of individual that they would become at the long run. Now we have several other agents of socialization. Now, how does gender role that the society has given or the society has laid down, how does it affect socialization process? So as you're teaching your child to become this, to become a better person, the role that the society has drawn out, we consciously infuse it into how our children are socialized. For instance, you will hear the mother say that, stop shouting, stop talking back. Maybe you're talking to a girl child and then you're having a conversation, you're asking, and the child tries to interject while you're talking. The next thing is a typical African parent who shuts that girl child, and say, you're a girl, you don't talk back when an elder is talking to you, and that will go a long way to see how that girl sees herself. It will affect her own self-image, how she would then see herself and present herself into the outside world. She is told that, you be the one that will be in charge of the dishes in the kitchen, you have to cook. This is the profession that you can even practice. It goes as far as and as deep as that. We go as far as saying, it is so and so profession is what the female can practice. This is what the male can practice. Like traditionally in the African society, when a male is a nurse, a practicing nurse that is a male, you are shocked. You are taken aback that why will a man be a nurse? A woman is supposed to be a nurse, while a man is supposed to be a doctor. That is the way we've been socialized. So it goes that deep. So when you begin to make life choices, because of the way gender role has actually affected our socialization, when you begin to make life choices, you see that you are only, even though nobody is guiding you or nobody is restricting you, you yourself have restricted yourself into choosing certain things because of the way you have been socialized into the society. For instance, you want to choose where to live, what to do with your life in terms of career path, in terms of marriage. Though nobody is restricting you, nobody is helping you make those choices, you will notice that you are choosing a narrow path, or your choices are tilted towards certain choices, and you begin to wonder why, even though there seem not to be an external factor influencing your choices. And then you would wonder, why do I make these choices, right? But you would fail to realize that your choices is actually not only affected by the present occurrence or your present experience, rather it is embedded in how you've been socialized into the society. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you actually agree with this assertion that our socialization process goes a long way to affect us in our life choices? And also, does gender role affect the way we are socialized into the society? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share. Until we see in the next video. For now, bye.